Hello and welcome to Spectrum TV News at 2. I am Frank Sizaima, and it's coming to you live from the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. Ministries in Abuja, others shut down as NLC strike begins. Akwa Ibom State government to flag off palliatives distribution tomorrow, Wednesday, September 6th. Plus, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to visit Putin for weapons talk over Ukraine war. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Many thanks for joining us. We begin the news this afternoon with an update on the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC two-day warning strike, where partial compliance have been observed from workers in some parts of the country, including the Federal Capital Territory FCT, Lagos, Rivers, Kano State, and Akwa Ibom. Workers of the KJ Electricity Company were locked out of their offices as some members of the union manned the gate to turn customers back. In Abuja, the block housing the Federal Ministry of Education at the Federal Secretariat was locked for about 5 minutes and later opened for civil servants to resume work. Meanwhile, other blocks at the Secretariat remained open with workers going into the building for work. The situation is reportedly similar at the Rivers State Secretariat and Kano, as some civil servants were seen at the Secretariat. Meanwhile, the National Union of Banks, Insurance and Financial Institutions Employees, NUB-IFIE, has joined the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC to draw the attention of the federal government to the punishing economic situation in the country. The union stated these in a circular signed by its General Secretary Mohammed Shaikh and addressed to all zonal councils and domestic committee. According to the bank employees, the industrial action was in line with the communique issued at the meeting of the National Executive Council (NEC) of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC). Away from that, the federal government of Nigeria has faulted the inauguration of Gabonese General Brice Oligui Nguema as the country's interim president. In a statement, the spokesperson for Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Francisca Omayili, demanded an immediate return to democracy in Gabon. Omayili said the inauguration of Nguema, with no indication of a transition program in place, only serves to fan the embers of growing discontent among the political class in the country. Recall that Nguema had on August 30, 2023 led a coup ending 55 years of rule by Bongo dynasty. Meanwhile, the federal government has unveiled plans to include families of wounded and fallen soldiers in the National Social Register in its poverty alleviation programs. A Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Beta Edu, made this known during a meeting with the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, in Abuja. Edu expressed the need to support families of deceased soldiers and also solicit the support of the Nigerian military to prevent humanitarian crises across the country. In his response, General Musa assured the Minister of the Nigerian military commitment to support her towards achieving the mandate of the ministry. In the meantime, the federal government has said it will be engaging terminal operators for the rehabilitation of the $800 million ports of Apapa, Tinkan, and others. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adeboye Oyetola, said this when he was led on a familiarization visit by the Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Mohammed Bello, and his management team. Recall that Bello Coco in April explained that the agency might be spending up to $800 million for the reconstruction of some of the country's seaports. However, reacting to statement, Ayatollah said the port was almost collapsing, adding that the reconstruction would commence soon. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning has said that the 2024 budget would be submitted to the House of Assembly before the end of October. The Director General of the Budget Office of the Federation, Ben Akabueze, said this in Lagos during the training of ministries, departments and agencies, MDA's personnel who would be involved in the 2024 budget preparation based on the Government Integrated Financial Management Information System Budget Preparation Subsystem. Akabueze, who was represented by the Director of Revenue and Fiscal Policy at the Budget Office of the Federation, Hafsatu Mamani, disclosed that the Budget Office was working to ensure that the 2024 budget was submitted to the National Assembly before the end of October. The Director General said the training of the MDA's personnel had been very effective, adding that the country had been able to return to the January-December budget cycle in the last 5 years. From the Green Chambers, the Health Committee, constituted by the House of Representatives to investigate the activities of the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority since its inception, has held the management of the NSIA over its interventions in the healthcare sector. The members of the committee commended the NSIA during an oversight visit at the Nsia LUT Cancer Center in Lagos. A chairman of the committee, Ademorin Kuye, while inspecting the facility, said the lawmakers were impressed with the quality of service being rendered to Nigerians at the center. Reports say the NSIA Healthcare was established to catalyze private sector investment to address the infrastructure gaps in the healthcare sector, improve manpower, and forge strategic collaborations to advance healthcare indicators in the country. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umoino will tomorrow, Wednesday, September 6th, flag off the distribution of palliatives at Government Warehouse, Ikarik Benudo, and Surubium local government areas, part of measures to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal on the people. In a release made available to Spectrum TV, the governor will equally commission internal roads at Urakpan and Dem by 11 a.m. tomorrow. According to the release, other activities billed for tomorrow include groundbreaking for Rice City Estate, Bierebe, Akpawa at Ibesikpo Sultan local government area by 1 p.m. and photo exhibition dinner at Banquet Hall Uyo by 7 p.m. Move now to Africa, where Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen is reportedly in Eswatini as she seeks to reinforce ties with the country's only ally in Africa. Reports say she arrived the country today for the 55th anniversary of Eswatini's independence and will also mark the two countries' 55 years of bilateral relations. During the visit, she will be meeting the country's monarch, King Mswati III, and visit a local hospital and Taiwan-sponsored projects before returning home on Friday. The Taiwanese president said her visit is to celebrate friendship between the two countries and promote sustainable cooperation. Still in Africa, Niger's new Prime Minister Ali Zain says there are hopes of reaching an agreement with West Africa's regional bloc ECOWAS following the group's hardline position on the coup in the country. Zain, who was appointed by the junta, made this known during his first appearance at a press conference in the capital Niamey. He also said negotiations were underway for the withdrawal of French troops from the country. Recall that the regional bloc has threatened to use force to restore civilian rule after the 26 July coup by soldiers of the Presidential Guard who ousted elected President Mohamed Bazoum. On the foreign scene, the Cuban Foreign Ministry says it has uncovered a human trafficking ring aimed at recruiting Cubans to fight for Russia in its war in Ukraine. It said that Cubans living in Russia and some in Cuba had been incorporated into the military forces taking part in the war in Ukraine. In a statement, the ministry disclosed that Cuba is a close ally of Russia but stressed it does not form part of the conflict in Ukraine. Still on the foreign scene, North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un is reportedly planning to travel to Russia this month to meet President Vladimir Putin. Reports say the two leaders will discuss the possibility of North Korea providing Moscow with weapons to support its war in Ukraine. According to reports, the possible meeting comes after the White House said it had new information that arms